Need computer training for a group or office? Contact us today to get a free demo of our training at www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing.
Before you can discuss color, you have to understand that there are many ways of describing or measuring colors. There are several methods of describing color. Each one of these is described in a color model. The most commonly used models are Hsb, Rgb, and Cmyk, although there are several others that can also be used. Photoshop uses color modes to determine what color model will be used to print and display images. Color modes determine the number of colors used in an image, the number of channels in an image, and the file size of the image. A channel stores information about color in an image file. The default number of color channels in an image is tied to the number of colors in an image, although you can add more manually, up to 56, to an image. For example, in the RGB model, there are 3 color channels, one for red, one for blue, and one for green. In Cmyk, there are 4 color channels, one for cyan, one for magenta, one for yellow, and one for black. If you're familiar with commercial plate printing, it may be helpful to think of channels as a plate used to apply a single color in that 4-color process. We will discuss channels at a later point. The Hsb Color Model uses the concepts of hue, saturation, and brightness to describe color in terms of the human perception of color. You can use the Hsb Color Model to pick a color in Photoshop using the color tools available to you. But there is no Hsb color mode that you can use for creating or editing images. Probably the most common color model for representing color is the Rgb Color Model. The Rgb Color Model uses variations of combinations of red, green, and blue light to create the different colors. Because of the fact that you can combine red, green, and blue light to create white, these are also called additive colors. RGB color is used in many displays like television sets and computer monitors to display color. Photoshop uses an RGB color mode for its images by default. This is also the same model used by computer monitors to display color. So if you use another color mode like Cmyk, Photoshop will still use the RGB mode for on-screen display. While RGB is a standard color model, the exact colors used can vary by computer or monitor display. Photoshop uses the RGB mode that varies according to the working space. Now, another common color model is the Cmyk color model. This model is based on the light-absorbing effect of ink when printed on paper. As white light is absorbed by various types of ink, some of the wavelengths are absorbed by the ink while others are reflected. Theoretically, you should be able to combine pure cyan, magenta, and yellow to absorb all light and create a true black. Because these colors create color by absorbing or removing color, they are often called subtractive colors. Also, because there are no pure inks, you must also include black ink to produce a true black color. Combining these inks is called 4-color process printing. The RGB set of colors and CMY set of colors are often called complementary colors because you combine any 2 subtractive colors and you will receive an additive color and vice versa. Now, the Lab color model was created as an international standard for color measurement. This model was designed to be independent of the display device, like a printer or monitor. This model uses luminance and 2 color components to create a vast array of possible colors. In the Photoshop Lab mode, you have a lightness component and 2 color components. Lab color is the color model used when Photoshop converts from one color mode to another. All color models support different gamuts or possible spectrums of color possibilities, with the Lab color gamut encompassing the color possibilities of both RGB and CMYK models. The RGB color model also has more potential colors than the CMYK color model, but there are some colors that the CMYK color model produces that the RGB color model cannot display. There are also several other color modes that Photoshop has available: bitmap, grayscale, duotone, indexed color mode, and multi-channel mode. These are specialized color modes not often used by the typical Photoshop user, but offering additional flexibility for the professional graphic designer.
Like what you see? Get a free demo of our training for groups of 5 or more at www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing.